Welcome to the Guiding Brands podcast with your host and chief guide, Karen Vick. This is a podcast for service-based small businesses who want to get a handle on their marketing so they can attract and gain new customers. Good day, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Guiding Brands podcast. Today's guest will be taking us into the new world of TV and streaming advertising called OTT advertising. I'm going to have him break it down for us, so stay right there. My guest is Jerry Martinez. Jerry was formerly with Comcast, where he specialized in TV, OTT, and digital advertising for over 11 years. He started his own business, Sunray Media Consultants, in 2020, and he offers the same services that he did with Comcast, but a wide variety of other marketing services to businesses of all types and sizes. Jerry and I met in our local Chamber of Commerce, where he recently did a presentation on OTT advertising that was very informative. And I thought, he would be a great guest to have on the podcast. And so, Jerry, thank you so much for agreeing to join me today.
And thank you for having me.
Yeah, this is great. I mean, all that information you shared and the way in which you delivered it too was pretty simple. That the layperson could understand, and just clicked for me and just made me want to share this with the Guiding Brands audience. So, if
Hmm.
you could just tell us a little bit more about yourself,
Yeah,
anything you want.
definitely do that. Yeah, so I've been in sales all my life. So I used to be in sales, and then media attracted me because I was like, okay, how can I benefit how can I, you know, improve my career? So I got into media sales, and that's where I worked for Comcast for about 11 years on Comcast Spotlight, now called Effective. And we sold advertising to small to medium businesses in the local market.
Hmm.
Up to that point, TV is something that's only for the bigger brands, McDonald's of the world, Coca-Cola. And at that time, cable was the only one that was offering localized, hyper-targeted um, uh, TV commercials and for smaller to medium businesses where they can target predefined areas. So if a business is in Fort Lauderdale, they can be on ESPN, TNT, USA, and all that, and Fort Lauderdale market, and they still do today.
Hmm.
Now I was there for 11 years. I was, always wanted to start my own agency, and I was pretty successful there, and I was comfortable, and I learned so much. But then the pandemic came, and unfortunately, they had to make some difficult decisions, and they laid off quite a bit of people, and I happened to be one of those people.
Hmm.
And learning from the first recession, I was like, you know what? I'm not going to go look for a job. I'm going to go make my job. And
Okay.
so that's how Sunray was formed. And now we are, a team of one. Now we're a team of 10. And we are helping small businesses really, like your name says, guiding brands. That's pretty
Hmm.
much what we do is we're guiding brands through this very, very complex marketing landscape. It's very fragmented.
Exactly.
It's like the presentation I did at, the quote that I used was the only thing that's permanent is change.
Right.
And it's changing so rapidly right in front of our eyes that small business owners, the medium business owners, it's hard for them to keep up with their business and the media landscape that's changing right now.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
so what we do is we partner with them and as an extension or be their marketing department and use our expertise to really help them grow because they don't have time for that.
Yeah.
I know I've mentioned you've heard that said that before in
Yep.
other conversations. Is like when do they have time to learn all the different technical
Yep.
aspects of all the ads,
Yep.
right?
Yeah. Yeah. And things are changing so rapidly, like you said, even the platforms that we use now, just, I mean, like Facebook, just this week, I'm working with Facebook ads and they're in the middle of going through a change again, So yeah, it's,
And,
yeah.
and the advantages of dealing with someone like us, right? I know you do you serve your clients, and
Hmm.
is that we're independent, right? So all these platforms. they're going to say they're the best. They're going to
Mm-hmm.
say you need to spend our give us all your budget because we're going to reach everyone. But that's not the case. And for small and medium businesses, they need someone that's independent of those platforms and companies that's going to give them objective advice and also execute on those campaigns. And
Mm-hmm.
we're independent, so we're not owned by any. Even though we're partners
Right.
of all, we're not owned by any.
Right. 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 Okay.
And,
Well,
and
I'm happy. I'm sorry. Were you going to say
no,
something?
no, no, no. Go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm happy that you decided to take that leap because, I wouldn't know you. I probably would. You probably would be a member of the Chamber of Commerce, but, working for Comcast, but doing this and bringing this wealth of experience and knowledge to the community, is a really cool thing. So let's get into it. So the first thing I want to ask is for you to first define what OTT stands for in OTT advertising.
Yeah, so I'll break it down in layman's terms.
Hmm.
I'm going to throw another term in there to make it even more confusing. CTV, right? So
Okay.
OTT and CTV, and the difference is they're both television, but it's the way that's delivered. So CTV is connected television. So that means when you're watching your Samsung television and you're choosing to watch videos that way, that's
Hmm.
connected TV. Then OTT is through the app. So if you're watching it on a mobile device or through another type of a tablet or something, and you click on the app itself to watch the video. So that's like the technical definition.
I see.
However, they're both the same, which is video, television.
Hmm.
So the TV's really gone, just like all the things in our life is going through a massive transformation. Is people want to watch things when they want to watch it and how they want to. And OTT and streaming has done that. When I was at
Hmm.
Comcast, just to go back, we had on demand. I don't know all the listeners there that are Comcast subscriber, you have on demand programming. So this is the evolution of that. So now, you can watch things whenever you want, and you can watch it from whichever channel that you want. You don't have to uh, buy a whole package. If you just want to watch Hulu, you can watch Hulu. If you want HBO Max or Netflix, the user has more options and choices that they can use.
Right.
So that's the evolution of that. Now, what's great for the audience that's listening in small to medium businesses, that creates a new opportunity for them. Because of streaming, it's very much like digital advertising. So you can target specific areas, you can target specific audiences, and
Mm.
each platform has their own niche of data that you can target against. So, for example, if you were a used car dealership, you can target people in the market for cars. So when they're watching their favorite premium programming, their favorite shows, your ad can be on there in
Mm.
the area that you're in. So one of the challenges, because we do a lot of broadcast television, and
Hmm.
one of the challenges for small and medium businesses is that yes, they're very well watched and they have an amazing amount of viewers, and we have a ton of clients on it. But for a smaller business that maybe their customers come from a 5 to 10 mile radius, it might not be financially feasible for them. So streaming actually does that, where they can be on those top, shows like American Got Talent,
Mm.
Voice, all that at a fraction of the price
I
and
see.
their local market.
Very interesting. Okay.
Hmm.
So, so when I see commercials on Hulu or Netflix, if you have that account,
Hmm.
or any of these streaming platforms, what I'm seeing is in fact the OTT in play, right?
Hmm.
That's
Hmm.
that's what I'm seeing. Because sometimes
Yes.
I don't necessarily see local ads a lot, but but I do see a variety of ads sometimes that I wouldn't typically see on the regular cable channel or local TV stations. I see,
Hmm.
and maybe it's because of my interests as well, because of course they're tracking you. They know
Yeah.
they know what you're
So
interested in. Yeah.
correct. So
Yeah.
so there's a lot of ways to get into that. But to be simplistic, the reason why we don't see enough small and local businesses is because they don't think they can do it.
Okay.
And so, partnering up with someone like us, where we like aggregate all our customers by and we buy a lot, there's places, opportunities that they would not have access to otherwise.
Okay.
Because for some of those bigger companies, they negotiate deals directly with the providers. So that's why you see more of them. But there are opportunities for small and medium businesses to be on those platforms. And I think my prediction is in the next couple of years, you're going to see more and more and more of it.
Mm. And so, and also the thing that you're also pointing out too is that you're not just on the television. It's on mobile devices. You pick up your iPad and you're watching your favorite show. Yeah, and even YouTube, correct?
Yes,
Does
even
this play
YouTube.
into YouTube as well, right?
So
Yeah.
so YouTube is the largest provider of right now that people spend most of their time consuming video, of short
Mm-hmm.
and long form video.
Mm-hmm.
For the first time in history, if you saw, I remember the presentation I did, um, Americans uh, spending 52% of the time streaming video now.
Wow.
That's the first time ever in history that streaming video has eclipsed traditional video.
Traditional video. Wow.
Yes, and it's
Wow.
only accelerating. It's not going down
Yeah, yeah,
any.
exactly.
And
Exactly.
it also, if you noticed, all the mega deals like Amazon just got a contract with the NBA,
Yeah.
right? That was previously on TNT, and
Yeah.
also the local sports networks are also, YouTube now negotiated NFL, so they have the NFL pass. So you can
Mm-hmm.
see the trend, and the big media companies are seeing the trend as well, and acting accordingly.
Hmm. So so overall, how would you describe the impact of OTT advertising, across the, you know, advertising landscape? I mean, because there's so many other ways that you advertise. There's advertising offline as well as online. But how would you say it has impacted advertising in general?
It's in fact it's extremely powerful. And
Mm-hmm.
yes, video is everywhere, right? Let's address the elephant in the room, which is
Mm-hmm.
social media. Social media also
Right.
provides video.
Right.
And the
Right.
difference between OTT video and the environment, right? When people are on social media and they're consuming video, they're not as they're not paying attention as strongly as they would be if they're
Mm-hmm.
watching their favorite program.
Yeah, it's quick. Yeah.
It's
Mm-hmm.
quick. And what OTT and streaming is great at is branding, right? So branding is the most powerful thing. The biggest mistake people do is they'll go into streaming and they treat it like their regular Google
Yeah.
ads. And that's the biggest mistake that they can make
Yeah.
because they don't understanding the purchasing fund, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I guess I'm gonna, just for the
Go
audience,
ahead,
yeah,
please.
kind of go. So awareness is, most business owners try to skip the line. They try to go where the Google search, people are searching for my product and they want clicks and they want an immediate buyers.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you're going to get that. But for most people, they're not going to, let's say you're selling a car, right? A car, people purchase a car once every 5 to 6 years.
Right.
But so if you're only there at the time that they're going to buy that car in that 6 year, they already made up their mind for whoever they built a relationship with, whatever brand informed them and educated them. So you can't skip the top of the funnel, which is the awareness and the education of your product and your services. And that's how you differentiate yourself from your competitors.
Mm-hmm.
One of the classic case studies that I like to use is the Starbucks and Dunkin' Donut case,
Mm-hmm.
where it's a $34 billion industry, but Starbucks and Dunkin' Donuts makes up 60% of the 66% of the sales. Why is that? Because they invested in the front part of the marketing funnel, which is the awareness.
Mm-hmm.
Because people don't do business with brands and businesses that they don't know. They
Right.
do business with brands that they're familiar with. Because our brain works like a computer. You have your storage, which is your long-term storage
And the short.
capacity, and then you have your
Mm-hmm.
RAM, which
Mm-hmm.
is short-term.
Short term. Mm-hmm.
So, we forget everything that we see here in 3 days, and we store it in that short-term memory. So, if people are not familiar with your brand, they're going to forget about you. And what OTT and streaming does is keeps you in front of.
Helps you. Yeah. Yeah.
So the day that they do need the car, or they need that plumber, or they need that roofer, or they need that dentist, they're going to think about you first because they're familiar with you and you're in that RAM memory. And
Right.
that's why streaming is so important. Impact, yeah.
Impactful. Okay. I mean, yeah, and I mean, awareness at any level is important, and like you said, oftentimes businesses feel like they can skip that part, pay an ad and you're supposed to get immediate response and immediate results from it, without anybody knowing who you are. Or you just, another way that you can do that, you can do social media posts, but you'll be doing social media posts and fighting against the algorithm. That's another thing that you have to
Yeah.
fight against too, So yeah.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
and it's a key differentiator. So like all these in this day and age, you have to have a marketing funnel that addresses social, addresses video. So I'm not saying that
Hmm.
this is in lieu of, but
Right. It should be in
it should be a part
partnership.
it
Hmm.
should be a part of it,
Hmm.
because that's how you differentiate yourself. I had a
Yeah.
conversation a couple of years ago with a moving company,
Hmm.
and they buy leads through a moving leads place, right? So the place markets the movers and then funnels the leads to the moving companies. The
Hmm.
problem that he had was the pricing. Now you're a commodity, you're not special. So now it's like, where can I get the cheapest price? Whether when you spend the time investing in building the brand up front, price is not the most
Gonna
important
be
thing
right.
because you kind of build that rapport with the potential customer.
Yeah, and you're dealing with one segment of the marketing landscape, marketing and advertising landscape too, and you're beholden to them,
Mm,
So
correct.
yeah, yeah, okay. So, what types of um, targeting options are available, for OTT advertising campaigns?
Massive, massive. It's endless. One of the most common ones is the retargeting. So a lot of these our partners have the retargeting pixel.
Can
So
you
if
explain what
someone,
retargeting? Yeah.
okay, so retargeting is basically if someone goes to your company's website,
Mm-hmm.
then when they go in there on Amazon and they're watching Amazon Prime or they can see your ad again. Because going to the back to that consumer funnel, sometimes it takes 5 to 6 touch points before they actually
Mm-hmm.
want to become a customer of your business. So the retargeting is very, very powerful because you're
Mm-hmm.
reminding them about your brand and you know that they already know who you are because they went to your website.
Right.
That's one form of targeting. A lot of the platforms like we're Amazon partner as well, and Amazon knows what you shop for.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
So let's say you have a dog and you bought pet food. Well, they know that you are a pet food owner. So they have a custom audience for pets. So if you're a vet and you want to sell services to people in your community that have pets, why not use an OTT strategy that targets pets?
Mm-hmm. And a similar thing for the audience, that's why when you visit a website and you go on your favorite social media platform, aka Facebook,
Hmm.
you will see ads popping up. I've had people, remark about that to me. And I'm like, yeah, yeah, that's because there's something called a pixel that's actually on that website that you visited. You may have just been there for a second. You may not have bought anything, but it actually picks up on the fact that you were there. And so then you get served ads from that, you know, company. If they're doing their advertising correctly, then you'll actually show up. So it works similarly. Okay. So is there any other option?
Yeah. So
What's
one of the
another?
things that one of the
Mm-hmm.
other options of targeting is geo targeting, geofencing,
Mm-hmm.
and basically it allows us to circle an area. So if they travel to a specific location, maybe a competitor's location, or
Mm-hmm.
maybe somewhere where it makes sense for you to target, they can actually circle that area, and then if someone mobile phone goes into that area, they can retarget them also with video.
Hmm. Slick. Very slick. It's kind of creepy too at the same time, It's
Yeah, yeah,
these
no,
things are
definitely.
chasing you all over the place. Okay.
Definitely. No, the one thing I do have to say to the audience is it's not going to say Bob Jackson. It's
Right.
just going to say ID, whatever. So
Right.
the advertiser never sees the data. So
Yeah,
no one knows
exactly.
exactly
Yeah.
that
It's your
that's you
IP
are.
address, your computer address, your phone's address
Yeah,
in
correct.
terms of, yeah, it's just a string of numbers. So, yeah. So your name and personal information isn't what's shared. Okay. So, all right, with all of these options, with this tool being so beneficial to small businesses, I know there's some in the audience and people that we talk to every day that are the first thing they're going to say is, but then what's the return on investment for this? How much money am I going to put into this, and what am I going to see out of it? Can you describe, how effective the ROI is?
It's very effective, but like I said, you can't. It's based on your goals.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's different.
Mm-hmm.
Every industry is going to be a little different. And I wish there was a one size fits all answer to this. However, if you have a store and all of a sudden your sales are more than they were a year before or the month before, then you start to see the foot traffic come in. It's
Mm-hmm.
just like it's happened to a lot of our customers. We also have other proprietary ways that we use to track.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, we've been able to show our clients, hey, look, this call came from um, this video, and um, this, and then they're able to tell us how much money they were able to generate from that
Mm-hmm.
particular call or patient or client.
Nice. Nice. Okay. So okay, I'm a small business, and what do you recommend or should let me put it this way. I know it's all dependent on the goals, of the business, what you want out of it. It could be that you're just about awareness, you're just wanting to get your name out there. It's not so much necessarily sales, or it could be sales or both. So keeping that in mind, what's the least that someone can actually you have seen someone come into this with, in terms of a budget,
So,
and
this is one of the greatest advantages of streaming and digital video
Mhm.
is that it can work with most budgets. Um, you know, so I guess the question I would ask you is, if I can place your business in front of 1,000 people and it would only cost, let's say, for each person 3 cents, would that be something that would
Oh
benefit you?
yeah.
Absolutely. So, we've seen, uh, for to reach 1,000 people, it could be like $30.
Mm,
And that's cheaper than paying someone on the street to pass out flyers.
nice.
Now, I'm not saying that that's what would take
That's
to
the
be
standard.
effective.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not saying that.
Hmm.
We work with clients, with budgets, from $1,000 a month to $100,000 a month.
Hmm.
Now, obviously based on the goals, based on the budget,
Hmm.
you have to have set your expectations.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's not going to be the same.
Yeah. And something I recall you saying in your presentation is that there's the buying power, you know, is also effective, or affects the rates, right? So your
Yes,
ability to shop,
yes.
right? Can you explain a little bit about that?
Absolutely, absolutely. So as an agency, we have different partnerships,
Mm-hmm.
and we're privy to more auctions than, let's say, an end user would be. So we have partnerships with other media companies that were aggregators that were able to get things,
Mm-hmm.
much more effective than maybe yourself
Right.
getting it. The other thing
Mm-hmm.
is that it's also time, right, and expertise.
Mm-hmm.
How many platforms are you going to manage and also manage your business? And we allow business owners to buy back their time because time is very limited. So with our expertise, we're allowing you to buy back your time so you can focus on taking care of your customers. And I
Business.
think that's the
Yeah.
biggest value in working with someone like us.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Um, And then when you say that you have that ability to go after better pricing based on auctioning. Can you explain what the auctioning process is, what this means? Because I know a lot of us aren't aware that, I think some people think that, if they want to do an ad, for instance, local TV, you just call them up and say, okay, I want to place an ad. Or if I want to be on ESPN at 9 o'clock, I just, reach
Mhm.
out and I'll get that spot. What does it mean to be in an auction for these pricing?
So the biggest difference is how our goals are set up, right? So
Mm-hmm.
if a client would not saying not to call a station, but their goal is to sell their inventory at the highest possible amount because they have a certain amount of inventory that they can sell. So they have to maximize the yield.
Mm-hmm.
So their goals is to it's in their best interest to sell at the highest possible amount. My interest and our team's interest and our team's interest is how can we get the best value for our clients. And so we're like I guess you would call a broker,
Mm-hmm.
and in a way that our interest is not the the actual price of the inventory, it's maximizing your budget.
Okay. So choosing the right time, the right channels to be on, and so on.
Mhm.
You consider all of that. Okay.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Awesome. Awesome. So you've been doing this for a while now. With Comcast and now on your own, but on your own over the last couple of years. I remember you presented at an attorney's office, I believe it was, as a case
hmm
study. Can
hmm
you
hmm
share just one or two success stories, from the work that you've been doing with OTT?
Yeah. So OTT is a big part of it. It's not the only part of it, but
Mm-hmm.
like I said, we do traditional TV and social as well. So with this attorney in South Florida, I'm sure you probably guys have heard, Blakely Law Firm,
Mm-hmm.
and we have a partnership going back several years. Like I used to be their TV rep, and then obviously when I started the agency, um, in and had amazing success. And he's actually just made it to Fortune 500, the
Wow.
top 5,000 growing uh, uh, small business in the United States.
Mm-hmm.
Was ranked at 2,105, and most of the growth has happened since we started our partnership with the agency,
Nice.
with us. And like going back is, customers are really good at their industry, but they need help. And like because the media landscape is changing so much, and it's a full-time job. So
Mm-hmm.
we allow clients to buy back their time, focus on their clients, and we focus on the marketing. So that's
Nice.
a really good case study. We have another case study where the restaurant started with one, and now they're five.
Wow.
And like I said, they didn't have the expertise in house. By the way, we also have a production studio, so we actually produce the
Yes.
video and the content.
Mm-hmm.
So it is just partnering up with someone like us to be able to free up their time.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I like that. Freeing up your time.
Mhm.
I like that. I'm going to steal that line.
Hey,
I
definitely.
know it's been used, but I've never used it in my conversations. But it's yeah, it makes sense,
Yeah, and
So
I love the name of your podcast is Guiding Brands. I was like, when you first told me about it, I was like, man, that's what we do. That's such a great name. So
yeah, I
don't
don't know
worry,
how.
great mind things alike.
Listen, I lucked out when that domain name was available. So yeah. Um, so we talked a little bit about this before that, OTT is not the only thing that we would say, use that tool in your marketing, we would say use it in combination with other tools, your social media, even offline marketing, whether it be billboards or whatever, right?
hmm hmm
Um, what what would you say is a good strategy for, say, that restaurant? Can you share with us, the combination that they're using? I don't know if that's private info, but
Yeah,
you
I
know
won't share theirs, but I can
hmm
tell you overall, right? Is
right.
um, The biggest thing is seeing where your customers are, where they're
Mm-hmm.
paying attention. Gary Vee has a book called Trading Attention, and
Mm-hmm.
he talks about the people that are successful is that they're paying attention to their customer trends. And
Mm-hmm.
so by, employing a diverse media approach, it's really where it's successful. No longer are the days of just doing one type of marketing. So,
Right.
like for example, talking to you, as I known you, you do websites, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, one of the biggest mistakes that I see small businesses do is they can invest a ton of money on marketing and streaming, OTT, traditional, but
And
then the
forget
back
about their
end,
website.
they forget about their website.
Mm-hmm.
One of the biggest success with that restaurant that I mentioned is their website was really slow. It had big images. It didn't talk to the customer. So you can spend all this money getting traffic to it. And if the website doesn't operate properly,
Gonna leave.
you know,
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
dropping the ball.
Yeah.
I've also seen situations where businesses undervalue the person answering the phone and don't pick up the calls.
Mm-hmm.
So those are the biggest mistakes I've seen is that we can spend a lot of money doing all these things and drumming up the demand, but if the person's not picking up the phone and it doesn't know and is not aware of the ads that you're running, and the person calls and like, oh, we have this
Yeah.
special, and the person's like, what? You're dead on arrival. So
Right.
it's important that as a business owner, you're making these decisions and you're making these plans, but you got to involve the people that are actually dealing
Yep.
with customers
Get
face to
the
face.
team. Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
that's the biggest mistake I've seen is not informing your staff about what you're running.
Or you're using call centers, and the call centers, answering the phones aren't equipped, aren't set up to actually, because I've seen that happen before, Yeah. But
Absolutely,
yeah,
absolutely.
yeah, yeah. And then it hurts you even more because word of mouth is powerful also. Because
Hmm.
now, that person who had that experience, they're not going to look at you again, but they'll tell their neighbor who needs that service, don't even call that person, don't even go there, Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so so the back end is just as important as the front end.
Yeah.
You
Hmm.
can't have one or the other.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and, and that's the biggest mistake advertisers do is that they advertise, spend money, and then they don't have the back end set up for what's coming.
Right.
Right? Because you and I have done marketing. We know it works.
Yeah.
Right? Without a shadow of a doubt.
Yeah.
But they don't know. And then
Yeah.
they're like, oh, they're surprised. Like, oh, wait a minute, I got calls on Saturday, but I have no one picking up phone calls on
Yeah. You
Saturday.
have to be prepared. Be
Yes,
prepared.
correct.
Yeah. Be prepared. Because, when you, and the other thing that happens too is they may come to you complaining that they're not seeing any results. But then you can show them that, listen, you've been getting all these phone calls, but nobody's answering, this part of the reporting that you can actually provide them with, so it's really important, like you said, that, you tighten up every aspect of your business, including, just how you interface with your clients, with your customers, potential customers as well.
Yeah. So
So,
one of the
mhm,
things that we did to address that is with some of our clients, we have like a annual meeting where we bring in like a trainer and we talk and like this whole session just for them, and we train their staff.
mhm,
Just because we've seen over the years, like if you're making a $50,000 or $100,000 or $200,000 investment, your staff got to be,
yeah.
they got to know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Everybody's got to be on the same page. Yeah, makes
Mm-hmm.
sense. Yeah. So I know right now AI is everywhere. We can't escape it now. And I mean, we've been using AI. Everybody. When ChatGPT came on the scene, everybody, hands went up in the air. And my thing was, listen, you were always using AI in your phones, online. These algorithms that chase you on Facebook and so on. AI had been powering them all along. Has it reached OTT? What are you seeing? How?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Without a
Yeah.
doubt. It didn't, and like you said, we've been using it. So an
Mm-hmm.
OTT, if you log into your Hulu, you log into your Netflix, that's AI recommendation, giving you recommendations.
Mm-hmm.
So if you happen to like romantic comedies, there's a reason why you're seeing more of them
Right.
because Netflix has AI in the background saying, "Hey, they like romantic comedy, so let's show them that."
Mm-hmm.
Because they're just like social platforms, is they want to increase engagement and time
Right.
watched
They want to keep
because
you
the
on
more
there. Yep.
keep you on there. So the reason
Mm-hmm.
why time watch is even more important than traditional TV is because that's how they're able to serve ad if there's more engagement, more impressions available to be delivered.
Nice. Okay.
So
Yeah.
AI
Well.
plays a crucial role in streaming. Crucial.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, what are some of the things that you're seeing? If you can share with us anything that you see coming on the horizon as it relates to anything specific. And we know that's going to be more prolific. People are going to get smarter, because people like yourself are out there, talking about these things. But
Yeah.
do you
So
see anything? Yeah.
the biggest trend now is consolidation.
Consolidation.
Because I think the consumer market has I think reached a peak of 4 to 5 subscriptions. So now we're going to see some consolidation in regards to platform.
Yeah. So like you
Um,
said earlier, Amazon now has NBA and they have NFL Thursday. Is it Thursdays? Yeah,
yeah,
Thursdays,
NFL,
right?
yeah,
So
yeah.
you're gonna see, and they bought out movie houses years ago, So yeah. Okay. Okay.
So the industry right now is in the consolidation phase.
Mm-hmm.
It was, the pandemic started a growth phase where there was like all these platforms just showed up out of nowhere because
Mm-hmm.
home people were home. So
Right.
the growth was like amazing. Like you could literally start at that time and you'll have viewership. But now everybody has returned back to normal. And
Mm-hmm.
so there's not the amount of people spending that much time anymore. People are back to doing their everyday
The
lives.
routine.
So
Mm-hmm.
the competition is fierce. And then, believe it or not, putting in the equation is social media. People are
Mm-hmm.
spending a lot of time on video on social media. So not only are they spending on streaming, but they're spending time on videos on social media as well. So
Mm-hmm.
there's only so much time and attention that people can spend and so that there's going to be a consolidation of platforms, and it's happening right now.
Yeah, 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 and you see over the years you've seen, for lack of a better word, a cannibalization of apps. You see Facebook or Meta investing in Instagram, buying Instagram, buying WhatsApp, all of these tools, and there are other smaller ones that are out there that they're swallowing up as well. Google is famous for that,
Hmm.
so yeah, makes sense. Yeah.
And I think
Um,
that the people are also, as far as a trend, people
mhm.
are is becoming more normal,
Yeah.
more. It's something that before it was like a novelty thing. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
you're streaming. Okay, that's nice. Now
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah.
it's the main thing now.
Hmm. And you see it too with the cable companies actually doing their own streaming to compete to stay up to keep, because yes, there's still a handful, there's still people who use cable services, but like the commercial said, cut the cable, cut the
Hmm.
cord, so now, um, you'll see that they're actually offering streaming services themselves.
Yeah,
Yeah.
even the wireless providers like Verizon and T-Mobile are getting
Right.
into the streaming game
Right.
because it for you to save a couple bucks on your streaming subscription builds loyalty, and so
Yes.
you're less likely to cancel your phone subscription.
Right. 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 Yeah.
So yeah, like AI and the evolving of everything is introducing all these new dynamics that we've never had before.
Hmm. Yeah. And it's just where people are right now, just how people are consuming information, how people are interacting with each other and with brands as a whole. It's just, yeah, and it's mind blowing. So we just gotta keep changing with the times. So
Absolutely.
so for smaller brands, do you have any suggestions, any recommendations that you would give for smaller companies thinking
So
about this now that they've heard this?
the biggest recommendation I have
Is what? I'm sorry.
is to start doing it.
Just start doing it. Okay.
Eh,
Okay.
because once you start doing it, then you
Hmm.
start to get feedback and you start to optimize and to partner with someone like us or someone here
Right.
in your area that has the expertise that has done it.
Yeah.
And then it'll help you scale up much faster.
And actually, that reminds me. There's a question I wanted to ask. I thought of it earlier. You are in the local South Florida market,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
But streaming, OTT, social media advertising can you can actually manage, you can create campaigns from all over. So
Hmm.
do you work with, because I have people who listen to this from all over the place, so um if someone in Ohio wanted to start
Hmm.
streaming advertising, would
Yeah,
you be able to
absolutely.
assist them? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
We have like some of our clients open up locations. Sorry, I'm not used to talking this much, but
Okay.
some of our have in different states, and we were able to accommodate that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm gonna drink some
Okay.
water.
No problem. Take your time. So this has been very interesting, and it's I would love to, because I dabbled in it. I did some research, when I worked in my former life. I looked at it a little bit, but I never dug deep into OTT. And I would love to learn more. So I'll be picking your brain and possibly even sending
Definitely,
clients your way, as a result,
most definitely, and I
yeah.
encourage you to, one of these days, I'll take you to our studio and you can see everything.
Yeah, yeah, I'll take you up on that offer, to come by. I'd love to learn more. So, Jerry, I'm the chief guide here at Guiding
Hmm.
Brands, and
Hmm.
every guest on the podcast, I consider them a guide as well. And so, you're today's guide. What a piece of advice would you want to impart, other than all the gems that you just dropped, for us? Is there anything or things that you want to share?
Yeah. Well, the biggest thing is pay attention to your customers.
Pay attention to customers.
To pay attention to your customers, and they're going to give you the ideas for your marketing.
Hmm.
Because obviously you succeeded in obtaining them as a customer, and you'll start to see patterns. You'll start to see what issues you are addressing for them,
Hmm.
and that's the golden nuggets that you have to grow your business.
Excellent. Excellent piece of advice. And I want to add to that, even if their response is negative, you want to make sure that you're paying attention to what they're saying. Make adjustments if you need to, whenever you need to, and ask. Things may be flowing along really smoothly, but you can reach out to your customers. You can ask them what their needs are, ask them, how you can serve them better, and you'd be surprised at, some of the suggestions that your customers can actually bring to you. Okay.
Ag- Agreed.
Yeah. Yeah. So, Jerry, thank you so much. This was very enlightening. And I hope you get some business out of this, that somebody out there who has marketing challenges, or want to expand their reach beyond where they are right now, will take a look at this and contact you or contact somebody else. So where can people find you? If you can share
It's,
all the places.
yeah, you just go to sunraymedia.biz on our
Hmm.
website, and
Okay.
then you can reach me on the phone number that's on the website. You can follow us on social media and Sunray Media Consultants.
Okay.
And they can reach me at myself, 954-873-9414.
All right. Here we go. And there you have it. Thank you so much, Jerry. It's been awesome having you today. Thank
Thank you. I
you.
appreciate the invite and appreciate the love.
Awesome. Awesome. So that's all for this episode of the Guiding Brands podcast. I look forward to sharing with you again next week. So please don't forget to subscribe to the podcast and leave a review. Thank you, and bye for now.